Welcome to the Fishhead newsletter again. This is the new tackle section of our newsletter. So, we've got heaps of new stuff has arrived in the last month or so. So, got a lot of lures and some rods and things to go through. First of all, last month we spoke about new Soonacatchee lures. We had a bunch come in and they left just as quickly. So, we organised another order and we've got a whole bunch more of these guys have come in. So, some new styles as well, like the Husk Buzz, which is a surface fizzer, and the little 47mm slip minnow, which is going to be a great lure on bream and bass. So check those out. They are gorgeous lures. From OSP, Rudra, which is a 120mm long barra style jerkbait type lure. Will be great for tailor in the bay and rat kingfish, but definitely is going to be a good barra lure to have a look at. An oldie that's returned to us, the Tiemco Black Pepper. These have been one of our most favourite poppers over the years. They've been awesome on things from small trevallies and queenfish to tailor, bass, all sorts of stuff. They cast really well for their size and they pop brilliantly. So we've got a bunch of those back in stock. They're not being produced anymore as far as we know, but we've got managed to find a little shipment of them. So we've got those. Yo-Zuri have just recently released these new little slow sinking crystal shrimps. There's a 70mm version and a 90mm version. They've got a little bib to them, so they get a nice darting weaving action, or you can rip them really hard like a jerkbait and they'll dart and skip side to side really aggressively like a prawn trying to escape. Because they sink slowly, they're going to be great for working around reef edges, under pontoons, or even just around sandbanks, flathead and stuff like that. So they perhaps arrived a little bit late for the jack season, but they're going to be great on flathead this winter. And I'm quite keen to take them out and give them a go around the reef edges for snapper too. I think they'll love them. Could be a good one for dewies, where you get them around pontoons and things in the canals as well. Gidgee Lures is a brand that's been around for a little while, and we've just started carrying some of their lures. They do quite a range of cod, bass, mangrove jack and barra lures. Bunch of really nice stuff, handmade here in Brisbane. Beautiful lures, really well made, and they've been proving a great success. I mentioned before in the fishing report that the little Gidgee Ripple has been working very nicely on the bass locally. That's been a very good one, and also throughout the jack season, the sprats have been doing great on the mangrove jack. So yes, they make some beautiful lures. We've got a good range of those in stock now. Next, we've had Orpoi lures from Megabass come back into stock. These are a fantastic stick bait, really good on big kingfish, dolphin fish, tunas, mackerels, that sort of thing. Excellent one for the winter season for catching big tailor around the washes as well. But particularly good as a kingfish or a tuna stick bait. Got a bunch of new colours in those have arrived. In flies, we've just had a shipment of flies from John Maycomb arrive, so a lot of his favourites are all back in stock. There's a whole bunch of them there to have a look at, including this little fellow. It's a cross between a gurgler surface fly and a little shrimp pattern. But the thing that makes this one unique is the fact that it's a tube fly style. So line running through the fly to the hook back down there on the tail. So you get good hookup rates with the hook sitting towards the tail end. Also riding hook point up for maximum weedlessness around the snags. Okay, moving along. What have we got? New jigs from FCL. The FT jig, Flash and Twist. Looks like a long style, a faster style jig, but it's actually a slow jigging style. This one has done great for us on amberjacks and jewfish and things like that. Also, it's a deadly one when it comes to pearlies and snapper. So only had them a short while, but they've been doing really, really well. And just working them at very slow pace, just little slow twitches, lifts and drops, so you get that jig just fluttering off to the side and then dropping back a little bit. Deadly jig. So you'll definitely see me using a lot more of those this winter. In reels, in our last newsletter, we mentioned that the Daiwa Exist reels and the new Catalinas were coming. Now we've had some of the reels have arrived, still waiting on a couple of the others, but gorgeous reels. That new Exist is such a smooth, lightweight reel. It's a lovely piece of kit. And the Catalina already proved to be a very popular reel for the light offshore fishing and heavy bay fishing. Yeah, lovely size at 4,000, with the bigger ones still to come. In terms of rods, we've had a bunch of new rods come through in the last month. One of our orders from FCL Labo has arrived. They've started doing some of their rods in a limited edition red. So this one is the 70 Pro H, which has been quite a popular one with the staff around here and quite a few customers as well. Great rod for chasing anything from big snapper to long-tailed tuna and mackerel. Got some nice cobia on this rod too, casting lures. Very, very lightweight, crisp action rod, and casts up to around 40-50 grams. So great one to match with a 3500 or 4000 size Daiwa, or up to a 5000 size Shimano. Also in the red is the new version of the 80 Extreme popping rod. This is one of the only rods around that's a true two-piece GT popping rod. Fishes up to 80 to 100 pound line. Compared to the older model, this one is a little bit more powerful all the way through, but still physically very light, like the original one that was so popular, and still casts up to about 200 gram poppers. Works big cup faces in that 150, 160 gram range really, really well, but light enough to use all day. Next up from FCL, new jigging rod. It's a bit different to most jig rods in that it's 7'7" long. So it's an overhead rod. It's kind of like a giant size soft plastics rod, quite long in the butt, so you can tuck it under your arm when you're working the jigs, but it's designed for working jigs very, very slowly. So just a very small twitch gets that rod tip just flicking the jig up and down. So great for jigging for things like pearl perch and snapper, but also really good for clued up amberjack that have sort of seen it all. Just giving those little tiny twitches just gets the jig just darting and wobbling without really moving too far. So very, very handy rod, but a little bit different to what you're used to seeing in jig rods. Butt join at the grip there, and it's one, sort of the trend at the moment is going towards slightly longer rods, but this one goes right the other way into much longer rods. Okay, other rods that we've had come in recently, Sinnott is a brand that we've been very keen on in recent times. We just had a shipment come through from them. Been stocked up on a heap of their jig rods, but a couple of newies that they do. Midweight spin sticks, so stuff for chasing everything from snapper on soft plastics to small trevallies and queenfish and tailor and things like that. Also good for longtails in the bay. These guys are all sort of 1.5 piece rods joined just above the stripper guide, so really good for transport. They got nice light tip sections for working lightly weighted soft plastics and things like that, tossing smaller weights. Very, very powerful down the bottom end there. So this one's one of their medium weight rods, which will run up to 6.5 kilos of drag, and that's a 7-footer. And then this longer one is a 7'6", which is rated up to maximum of 7 kilos drag, and yeah, bigger and more powerful rod again. And that one's got quite a light tip for its 7'6" length. It's nice and soft at the tip end there for tossing lightly weighted plastics around. So yeah, great rods those. Been very popular already with the tuna season we're having in Moreton Bay, and expect to see a lot more of them out there. Another rod that's come in just recently is from Lucky Craft. This one is an 8-footer, so a bit longer than your average bay rod, called the Super Long Pop. Again, has quite a light tip section for casting some very light baits, but it'll fish up to a 25 pound line in the butt. So for a nice featherweight rod, it's a great one if you're looking for extra casting distance with those light weights, whether you fish off the shore or out of a boat. This one is a very handy rod. We mentioned earlier the FT jig from FCL and the new long jigging rod from FCL. These are all part of guess, style of jigging which has become more popular in recent times, a slow style jigging. Over the last few seasons, we've seen a big swing away from people using the really big long jigs and working the jigs in a really fast manner to slowing down to a moderate pace, and now to a very, very slow pace in many cases. This has had the effect of people are finding they can catch a lot more reef species on the jigs, working them a lot slower, and it's also a lot less effort on your body, so you can use lighter tackle and you can fish for much longer. Some examples of those kind of rods are things like the Patriot Designs, the little AKV rods. They're nice and lightweight. They fish sort of 20 to 30 pound braid. Another really cracking one is in the Saltiga, the 62S, rated again 20 to 30 pound. These are heaps of fun for chasing pearl perch, snapper, small to medium sized kingfish and amberjacks. And you're predominantly working jigs which are shorter and broader in profile. They have a bit more resistance through the water, so they're harder to work fast, but where they shine is just working them really slowly. So little twitches of the rod, get the jig just zipping off to the side, doing a little bit of a flash, and then as you wind down on the slack, letting the jig just hang there and flutter for a second before you hop it, and moves, sort of zigzags its way up, but it's not really moving a great distance in the water column. It's more just that little darting, fluttering movement that gets the fish really curious. We've been seeing it sort of slowly growing over the last few seasons, but especially I think this season, that's going to be something that really takes off. I know it definitely has in Japan. It's actually hard to buy a long traditional style jig in the shops there anymore. Everything is much shorter and broader in profile, so that's something to look out for. Definitely something worth having a go at. And that's about it for our tackle report for this month. Look forward to seeing you again next month, and hope you get some good fish out on the water. Thank you.